Okay, I think we're good. Alright. Sorry for stepping away for just a moment as the stream started. It was like getting really warm in here, so it's like I was just opening the window. So it's like, yeah. There we go. Hello there everyone, it's Mark 3. Welcome to From the Depths where I don't know what I'm doing, basically. Well, we'll find something to do, I suppose. Let's go mess around somewhere. Vehicle designer. Sure, let's do a vehicle thing. Now, get rid of this for a start. Don't want the basic thing here. Right, I think I want to new fortress, please. Click. I was looking at recently, like a new railgun design, so I think I'll try and work that out. If that's unless someone has anything they want to see me try and do or explain or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's a good way to go about this. Yeah. There we go. That'll keep that charged. N. Yeah, just basically building a testing platform now. Not meant to do much of anything. Okay, right, let's see. Railgun. This is testing for Toba, actually, that I'm going to do here unless someone wants something else. Because something my ship in Toba requires is... Well, I mentioned it in the episode, but it's not come out yet. Something it needs is just something better, something hard-hitting. Hey, Dr. Typhon, welcome to the stream. So I'm thinking that maybe a railgun would be a good idea. Just something to deliver a knockout blast to the enemy, basically. Yeah, I've got a face cam. I've had it for over a year, actually. It's just I stopped using it like 6-7 months ago, but I've got back into using it this week, so... Still feeling pretty nervous when I use it, but it's going okay so far. So, yeah. Let's see, I want something pretty hefty, pretty big. What size is that? 236. I think I want it a bit bigger than that. 293 millimeter? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let's see. 348 millimeter. At this point, I might as well just go for flat out, give me a max 500 millimeter thing. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And put that there. 500 millimeter. There we go. And since this doesn't need anything, let's just put in a bore evacuator and a 4-meter barrel. There we go. Well, I did tell you I'd be gone like a minute or two tops, Shortest Viking. But still, welcome to the stream. Glad you found it. And all that. As I've said already at this point, basically I'm going to work on developing a few bits and pieces unless someone has something they want to see me try to do. So, yeah. I think that's kind of what it boils down to, really. Because, you know, there's no plan here. There's no thought. It's just like, let's do a thing. Why not? Let's... don't spin the railgun magnet, please. Thank you. Okay. Gee, thanks, Typhon. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I was aware of that particular cure for feeling a bit nervous. I was aware of that one. Let's just flat out build mirror it. Sure, that'll do. Now, this thing is going to be a 500mm monster, a behemoth. Hi, Dominic. Welcome to the stream. 94 frags, 455. The thing is that we don't want this thing to be too bothered when it goes up against general purpose things. Like, so we want, for example, a inertial fuse for detonation. And we don't want it skimming, really, do we? It's very low AP, that said, so let's extend it slightly. Like that. Let's give it a composite head. No, let's give it an AP cap head. Then the middle is frag, inertial, super cav. So what's this one like? Tons of recoil, but only 2.6 AP though. That's really low. But then again, it's a low velocity shell basically at this point. So what's a composite head do? 3.3. The thing is, it's got a big cooldown on it. Let's change this up actually. Let's make this the inertial fuse a bit further forward. Reduce its frag component. Then shell rear, super cav. Oh, I want to give it some more gunpowder. Powder. Then give it the super cav. 7.4 AP. 13,000 kinetic, so it's going to hit fairly hard, and then it's going to fragment on top of that. So it's like it's going to try and just bore straight through things at this point. Yeah, basically, well, I'm just messing around in the builder really, but if anyone's got anything they want to see me do, then it's like just ask it, and I'll see what I can muck around with, because I've not got any kind of fixed plan or anything like that. Resource. Let's get some batteries in here, because I do need to get some batteries. There we go. Get on the turret again. And this thing needs some railgun charges. Make an X bow? What exactly do you mean by that, Typhon? Because I don't know what you mean by an X bow. Cram bombers, though, they are really easy to do, to be quite honest. Well, usually they are. Now, when you say they're easy to do, that's when they suddenly become very hard to do and it bites you in the face, but yeah. A couple of cooling units on the sides here. Basically, I'm just mucking around with it at this point. So, what size loaders do I need? Size 3 loaders, okay. There we go. Advanced cannon that looks like a bow. Possibly. Not really sure how that would. Well, not really sure what the purpose of it really is, to be quite frank. Oh dear. Or make a space station. There's not much to see, really. It's just the ocean becomes a disk far below you, and that's about all it is, basically. So it's not that epic. Except for the fact that most things can't reach you up there. So, yeah, there is that factor to it. But yeah, this should start loading things up for the cannon. I need to. Oh yeah, I need to arrest the recoil first as well. A couple of 8-meter absorbers should be enough. No, it needs more. Right. One there, one there. $401,000, 640,000 per shot. Ouch. Right. That's, of course, the problem with a big 500mm shell. It kicks like a mule. Oh, jeez. Hey, owner. Welcome to the stream. I'm just mucking around with a railgun right now, and then I'll just move on to something else, basically. That should be about right. Okie doke. AI, local weapon controllers. Like that. Full auto 500mm. Not really. I'm just mucking around, basically. So it's not meant to be full auto. It's meant to do okay, but it's like just flat out an accurate railgun, and that's it. Oh wait, they're over here. Of course they are. They're behind my face. They're behind the chat. Sure. General purposing processors like that. There we go. Show the basic PID. Sure. Yeah, I can do that really easy, actually. How big of an autocannon do I need for a 600 RPM 8-meter shell? That depends on how big the shell is apart from being 8 meters long. Because it could be 8 meters long but only be 18-inch gauge, or it could be a 500mm gauge. So, you know, the bigger it is, the bigger the gun you're going to need to do to actually get it to do anything, basically. So, yeah. Let's see, I need N. AI, connectors. Detector equipment. 360 cameras. Then gimbal track camera. Then gimbal track IR. Then gimbal track radar. So that's full suite of detector gear. Wireless link to get it all hooked up to the core AI. Like that. That's all fine. Yep. Needs more PIDs. Sorry, not PIDs, general processors. And that should be enough. Okay, there we go. That'll give full accurate tracking on anything that appears, basically. Okay, let's have a target. Enemy spawn. Give me a marauder.
Taking command. Turning off.
Right. Railgun settings. Right. Accuracy above max. Reduce energy to reduce its... How long is the cooldown on this thing, actually? because it's got a cooldown is only 6.73. Right, it needs more railgun charging basically. Kaboom. Right. It's the railgun aspect that's slowing it down. Your biggest cannon is 9x9x12. Okay. Not sure. I've noticed this about when you're against ships. It likes to. Yeah, oh, there goes his AI, just chord straight out. But they like to hit underneath and low down a lot. Also, I should tell you not to attack salvage things, shouldn't I? There we go. Yeah, there goes that marauder. Right. And now the railgun is actually rated for accuracy. So that's pretty dangerous. But that said, this cannon is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? This particular cannon, Shortest Viking, is 20 by 7 by... Yeah, 20 by 7 by 12, this one. 20 by 7 by 12. So yeah, it's kind of bulky, this one. Boom. Yeah, I fully expected that to happen. Right. Just let it get rebuilt. Well, remember, Dominic, this is just the vehicle designer, so it doesn't matter I just got hit by that. Will be interesting to want to hear, but you swear. Okay, I don't know if we fixed it, but if you set railgun charge power to 0.1 and left power 99, but have no rail parts in a custom shell, your gun can spew 1,000 shells a second by bug. I'm not interested in that. But you're right, that is quite an odd thing, so yeah. And yes, I got killed by a Vanguard. Let's actually get something out here to help. You got to remember though, this thing has exposed armor, exposed ammo, exposed everything. There's no kind of defenses on this thing. So yeah, it's kind of there's no way it can survive even the most basic of weapon attacks at this point. It's just not built for it. Misk, give me repair bots. Because why the heck not? And there we go. Now it's got an entire rack of repair bots underneath it. There we go. Right, that should help it fix itself up really quickly, if needed. Oh, jeez. Okay, right. Yeah, my first shell on target ventilated that thing, no problem at all. So, not a bad shell this really for a light 500mm shell. The problem is though that the testing platform is complete and utter garbage. So yeah, let's get another Marauder in here. Those are good because you can turn them off pretty easy. Okay, that tore a bit of a hole. Hang on over here. Maybe that's what I had to do, build a testing platform. I did! I've got one somewhere, it's old though. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's under my prototype section. No, it's not under there. Nope. Testing basic constructors. Just. Let's spawn one of these in, I suppose, just for fun. Yes, go pick on that Marauder, little hoverbug, for sure. I did have a testing platform around the place, but I don't know what I did with it. Oh yeah, that one's from Red the Rage, that's where that one came from. Gen 4? Waterlogger, Overwatch, Mega Metals, Infernus, Incursive, Diamondback. Oh yeah, I remember the Diamondback, right. I think the Diamondback is a bit old though, so it's like not very good. Yeah, it's just rolling over now. Right, okay. Gen 5? No. I did build a... Oh, yeah, I remember this one. This was a fortress design, but it's not the one I was thinking of. Also, it's too low in the water. Hang on. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you. Let's teleport to you. And let's get this thing up out of the water, because I never put a spawning block in this thing. So, come on. Up you come. Little Spire Fortress, come on. I built this as an alternate starting fortress for the campaign to Netta, this one, actually. It's like, you can build one of these at the start of Netta, and it's like, yeah, it's got its own style to it, kind of thing. So you know, it's got shield protection, it's got built-in cannons and missiles, and it's got a built-in oil refinery and stuff as well. So yeah. CCS. What's CCS? Oops. Yeah, this thing's got general detection plus all-round shielding, as I said. It's got, I think that's a cram cannon. Yeah, that's a cram cannon in the middle there. Oop. Okay, I don't know what caused that. Wow. Custom cannons. Yes, I do remember custom cannons. They were nasty, nasty things. Yeah, this thing was built after custom cannons, though. Also, let's just get rid of the testing rig now. Go away. Oh, I know what happened. It's because I never gave the rig any actual power generation of its own. So, yeah, that's why it exploded. Okay. Enemy spawn, give me another Marauder, please, just to shoot at.
Turning off.
Yeah, this is not the best fortress I've ever done. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go on to the back quest. PIDs. Right. Let's go ahead and grab a wooden block. No, I need a new vehicle. Give me a vehicle. Build. Caps lock. Lock it in place. Actually, no, I need to work out a metal. Never mind. Metal 3. Right. Because I need this thing to have some weight to make it more stable. While my cannon tries to destroy a marauder in the background and does a very bad job of it. Kind of embarrassing that, but you know, as you do. Guess that'll do. Sure. Okay. Right, so we've got this basic platform here. And I'm going to install PIDs into this. So, control, give me some general purpose PIDs. Right. Also need a few resource parts, like I need some RTGs. And some batteries. That. And then let's put an electric motor in here, because that's just going to be a nice little electric motor core like that. So there we go, that's that. Right. Okay, PIDs. First things first, you're going to need 3 of them if you want to fully have PID control. And that's these 3 I've just put in here in the middle of the craft. One of them you need to set to roll command, which controls how it pitches on the sides, right? Then you want a pitch command, which is pitch one here, which is rolling forwards and backwards. That's what that one does. And then the last one, if you're going full PID, this one is going to be an altitude PID. So I'm going to set that to that. You need a test stimulus set and set it to like at least 50. They're a bit buggy below that, but oh, they fixed the bug about PIDs not remembering when you set test stimulus. Okay, that's good. Right. Okay, so that's that. I've got that. I've got this vehicle which has got its own basic power plant and things like that. Yes, those are general PIDs. So using this, I can make just a very basic airship which will stay in one place and try to keep itself steady. So that's what I'm doing. Now then. Since this is of course an aircraft version, I need jets to do this. And you've got to remember to apply your force, because remember, jets, when they kick in, they try to send you places. So, yeah. There we go. Full set of downward thrusters, and it goes skywards, and that's it, because I balanced it all completely, and things like that. So, yeah. These are thrusters in the downward direction. Thrusters, by themselves, will listen to the PID, which is set to altitude. So altitude will control your downward facing thrusters and use those to try and lift your vehicle up. So that's what this guy is doing right now. And then the jets are slacking off because it's going too high, and so it's dropping back down again. And then as soon as it drops down to below the height it's supposed to go, it's going to try and kick in again. So yeah, there go the jets again, just coming back on to try and keep it at that height. So that's that. But as you can see, now it's getting a bit unsteady, and so it's losing it. This is where the other PIDs kick in. So first off, let's do pitch, because that's what just happened. Pitch uses the downward thrusters at the front of your craft to try and lift the nose up. But you need another set of thrusters at the back and set those to thruster reverse, which your pitch PID will use there as well to try and correct if things are going wrong at the back of your craft. Though of course you've got to increase the thrusters at your front as well to try and keep it under control. So oops, that's just dropping into the air, dropping down. Hello Demud, welcome to the stream. Okay, so as you can see, now it is trying to correct itself, like this. And then, because it's pitching forwards, these reverse thruster ones hit at the back have turned off. But the ones at the front are still going because they're responding to the altitude, so that's why you need some reverse thrusters at the back. So it no longer pitches, but now it's rolling. So yeah, it's rolling. And for that we need some more thrusters, which will respond to the roll PID. And you need to do this left-hand side and roll reverse right-hand side. So on the left, set them to the left-hand side. On the right, set them to right-hand side. And do not get that mixed up, because otherwise your craft will just go spiraling out of control. So there we go. Those thrusters will now react to the PID for roll and be used for the craft to pitch back in and stabilize itself. So yeah, it's a bit wobbly because the craft is a bit light, but if I can fix that easy enough with a bit of extra weight, to be quite honest. So let's add some more weight to it. How are the PIDs set? Nothing special, actually. All I've done is tell them what kind of PID to be. And as you can see, I've not caps locked. I've just added a bit of weight down below so the thrusters are higher up in the craft, and now it's just sitting here hovering perfectly happy, just like, hey, look at me, I'm just sitting here. This thing is operating under its own power. It's not caps locked in any way. But yeah, I've got one PID set to roll, not made to mess with anything else. One PID set to pitch, not mess with anything else. And one PID set to altitude. I've set a test stimulus here on 60 because I want it to hover at 60 meters above sea level. So that's the only thing I've done a bit more on, and this is what tells it to hover at 60. So that's why it's hovering at 60. So yeah. And that is basically, that's doing it. That's doing what you wanted. But we can do better. And we can do better by applying reverse thrusters in each respect. So right now, this thing is, when it tries to roll, it will lift itself up on that side, but that's all. So what if we wanted it to turn around its middle? So instead of trying to lift itself, it's going to turn itself. So we'll set some upward thrusters to rolling left-hand side and right-hand side. And this will greatly increase the ability of the craft to roll itself. So as you can see, it's now wobbling because it's overpowered again for its weight, but you can also see the thrusters on top are kicking in to do that rolling. So that's where it's coming from, because it's got a lot more rolling power than it did have before. Same deal for pitch, really. Just set in a set thrusters, thruster reverse towards the back, and regular thrusters at the front, and those guys will help when your craft is trying to pitch. So as you can see, it's now going all over the place, going bonkers because it's too powerful for how small it is, basically. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Now, I could either correct this by toning down the thrusters so they're not as powerful, or if I remember correctly, I can do this by reducing the KP gain stat on the these thrusters here, on the PIDs. So if I turn it down to 0.1, it makes it a much more gentle response. So as you can see, it stopped pitching all over the place like crazy, but 0.01 is too low. So yeah, that's what I'm just doing now, Shortest Viking. So 0.02. This is the roll one, so let's set it to 0, starts to roll, 0.02, and then it just kicks back in, and there it is again. So, yeah. So, there we go. We now have a basic PID platform ready for whatever you want to use it for. And that's about as simple as it is, really. That's all you need to do. So, hooray for PID, I suppose. Yay! And frankly, I put too much of a power plant on this thing because this thing's got a 1,600 horsepower power plant, and it's like a craft yay size. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, there we go. That's just a basic rig, and it shows where you want your thrusters to be roughly in positions to do each task. So there we go. And no recoil mobile turrets. That's any turret where we have added enough hydraulics to stop it from recoiling, basically. So that's all that is. Yeah, no problem, Dominic. Is there anything else you want to know about this thing? There are two kinds of PID. Yeah, that's true. I only know the general PID though. I've never used the other type, so yeah, I don't know what the other PID type is. Oh yeah, as you can see, now that I've put some more weight on the back, the craft is tipping, but then the thrusters are kicking in to counteract it. Make it a bomber. Okay, right, let's see. I just added some ammo reserves to it, so can I show a flare shell? What? I'm turning this thing into a bomber. Let's grab a cram cannon, put a firing piece underneath. Like that, I suppose. Actually, let's just make 6-way connectors, sure. Firing piece, click, drop it down like that. That's all connected, good. Yeah, if you put enough stabilizers on it, yeah, it will. Then you can get an advanced cannon without recoil on it, yeah. Though that said, the flare piece does not make a shell have no recoil. Manual orientation auto loaders. Let's put those in. That's how I want it. Though as you can see, because the weight of the craft is increasing, it is placing more of a strain on the stabilizing thrusters as I've got them set right now. So I need to add more thrusters, or I need to adjust the power of the thrusters back up to where it was before in the PIDs. So that's something I need to do. For now, though, I am just adding in material. Like this. For a bomb launcher. Let's see, I want to add some gauge increasers. So, gauge increasers, just whack these things on. This is a 1,190mm shell, apparently. And I want it to be a high X one, I guess, so high explosive pellets. Just load those in there. So there we go, that's going to produce a high X shell. Now then, I need to add go. One bomb chute. Though I think I've made it a bit too big, to be quite honest. 1003. 873mm. Yeah, that seems okay. Right, let's use that extra space for a bit more ammo. There we go. Right, so we've got a high explosive bomb right here. It's not too bad. It needs a local weapon controller. It needs an AI. It needs a card slot. It needs naval AI and aim point selector. Sure, let's do that. Then it needs a connector, like that. Sure, that looks okay. Build a salvo cram gun, 21. Yeah, salvo things are pretty easy, really. Yeah, I just read them, Mona. Yeah, a salvo one is pretty easy. You just build a whole load of cannons together, and it's how you place them together, basically. That's how that works out. Let's add detector equipment, gimbal track. Gimbal track radars and gimbal track cameras, and then add some 360 cameras on the sides. And of course I need some PI general processing to get the thing the might it needs to power these things. So yep, that's kind of expected. There we go. Now it can run all that detection equipment. That's all it needs. And lastly, let's bring in my handy dandy prefab here for complex controller ACBs. So there we go. Control, complex controller, slap that in, slap in a chair. There we go. Let's add a little bit of thrust to this thing. Like that. Yes. And that should be good enough. Before the chute. The chute is instead of other parts though, not before though, isn't it? Single barrel piece that should use instead of, not as well as, other barrel segments. Very slow but very accurate, huge field of fire, traverses quickly. Perfect for dropping bombs from a bomber onto your opponents. Laser rangefinder. Okay, sure. What's up with that? Well, the thing is, that's why I gimbal tracking radar. Radars are good range things. Radars are very good at range. Range area 0.1. Oh yeah, actually twice as good as the range. Never mind. Okay, sure. That should still be good. Yep, that's all still good. So this thing should now be fully functional. It's got AI detection, AI motion, and AI steering. So that should be good. Let's teleport to you. And if I do... Yeah, there we go. It needs better stabilization on its pitch, though. Ah, jeez. Jump over its pitch. 1. Yeah, it just needs more pitch power, to be quite honest. At least it's got plenty of battery power, so that's absolutely fine. That's for that, and these guys are thrust reversers to help that out. There we go, that should help it. Okay. So, this should be a fully functional cram bomber, so it needs something to shoot at, basically. Let's turn off the Spire's AI.
Turning off.
So the Spire won't try to murder anyone. And it's just our bomber. I need to configure the movement card though. Just a second. Movement card. We'll go angle 0 degrees. Minimum range is 0. There we go. That should do it. Yeah, detection is one of those things. It's an added system, but they deliberately left the option to turn it off for people who didn't want to use it. So that's why you can turn it off, basically.
Turning off.
There we go. It's found its target and is flying off merrily on its own way, like that. Kind of wavering, but that's to be expected because of how I built it. So, yeah. Off it goes. At least waving around like that, it's harder for things to shoot at, isn't it? Though I did turn off the target, so yeah. Well, because basically I treat my thruster craft like they are flying. Yeah, there it goes. Boom. I treat them like they are just boats floating in the air, because then I don't have to worry about pitching and trying to do stuff like that. So, you know. Well, that was a bit of a weird one. But yeah, that platform I've now turned it into basically a bomber. Yeah, a your PID would probably be a good idea, though. Well, you can have a naval AI fly straight at it if you set its broadside angle to 0. So that's why I did that, because 0 means it just goes straight at the target. Need a penetration fuse and more pellets in the gun. Why? How much damage is it doing right now? Let's check. Yeah, it's doing about 2,500 to 3,000 per shot. That's how powerful the explosives are when it's firing them. About 2,500 to 3,000 on average, so... Yeah, the air one can't circle. Make a 2,000mm cram. Oh, okay, but that will slow down the rate of fire dramatically. And is actually not very efficient, I've found out. At least I don't find them very efficient. What's the gauge on that? 1,400. Oops, what did I just delete? 1,850. The big problem with building a massive gauge cram is that it just takes so long to rearm itself to fire again. So it's like, you've got to wait a long time before it does anything. I'll admit though, the explosions are pretty. Sure. Okay, right. I've got to try doing this actually. I've got to try having some 2,000mm bombs. But I'm increasing the frag pellet loading, so there we go. It still needs a pen fuse, so it needs a fusing box. There we go. And you are a penetrator fuse. I can't see the depth, but sure, let's leave it like that. Yeah, that is a very slow firing shell now. But yeah, it is shooting massive, massive bombs. The problem is it's taking so long to reload. Also, the pen fuse doesn't seem to be doing much of anything, to be quite honest. So, I think I know what this thing needs. No, that was a rubbish thing. Never mind. That one. 45mm Gatling. Advanced cannons. It needs a ammo controller, of course. Then it needs a whole bunch of ammo customizers. I think that's too many. Oh look, the enemy is dead. Sure. Yeah, warp drives are a thing. And I did build a test ship based around them. So yeah, but anyway, what was it doing? It was one of those. Oh darn it, I've forgotten what the configuration was. Never mind. Take that off, it doesn't need it. It's just a bomber. Okay, let's also spawn in, since you guys have said that. Let's spawn in a Wraith. Where did I put that thing? Wraith, where the heck are you? I think it's in the upload section. Or not. Project Samarus, Microtanks, Metalingies, Lepismas, jets, and targeting rigs. Oh, you gotta go. Okay, see you later then, Dominic. That's fine. Yeah, you have a nice time too. Where the heck did I put that Wraith? Was it Gen 5? No. Prototypes? Where did I put that thing? Kind of worried now. I know I had it somewhere. Under construction? Nope. YouTube Ashes, YouTube S2s. Okay, I seem to have lost track of it. Which is kind of odd, to say the least. Where did I put the Wraith? Because it's kind of like... I built the Wraith as a test vehicle for exactly what you are talking about, Shortest Viking. It's actually it's a warp drive reliant craft, which is built around using cannons and missiles and things. So it's like, you know, it's a tactical warp drive for that thing. Oh, here we go, Wraith. Bingo. I disagree, owner. The Wraith actually makes very good use of it. As you can see, off it goes. Right, yep. Bye-bye, Wraith. Bye-bye. Oh, jeez. So, as you can see, that thing has warp drives. Yeah, I remember I spent quite a while tuning that thing, but yeah, it's a flutter drive, that's it exactly, tactical warp drive. The Wraith, this craft, jumps around with using micro warp jumps just to throw off incoming shells, and that's its thing. It's like, oh no, it's not built to go against lasers. It's very good against cannons and pretty good against missiles, but it could just throw off any long-range shells pretty easily. Lasers will tear it out of the sky, but it's still far from useless, though. That's the thing about it. It's very, very far from useless. The problem is, though, it's annoying as hell if you're trying to drive it. So, yeah. It's a curio, basically. It's an odd little test of a warp drive in a tactical setting, but I'd hate to fly it. I'd absolutely hate to fly it. So yeah, lasers would gut this thing pretty badly because it's not got anti-laser shielding. So, and the warp drive wouldn't have helped dodge lasers either, except maybe throwing the accuracy data off a little bit. So yeah, that's the Wraith. I think you can see why I call it a tactical warp drive on that thing, because it's just bopping in and out all over the place, like one ship length at a time, basically. That's all it does. It moves itself by its own length or its own width, practically at random, and in doing so, it throws off the accuracy of anything that's trying to be aimed at it. So that's what that does. That's the Wraith. I was working on a bigger version of it, but it's like yeah, I was working on a bigger version, but I never finished it. Yes, you can Viking, yeah, but the thing is, the drive's got to charge and then it's got to trigger, and that's the main limitation of it, of having something warp on demand. You've got to remember to let it charge up first. Against the Eye of Affection, I am not familiar with that design. Let's scrap the rest of my stuff first, though.
Listening.
So it's just that craft in there. And where's the Eye of Affection? What faction is that? Because I don't recognise the name. Thrustercraft Onyx Watch, right. Ah, here we go. Yeah, see, every time it does a little jump, it's actually throwing off the Aya's aim just a bit. Oh, but it flew straight into those shells. Ouch. Yeah, that's right, Shortest Viking. Yeah, that's crippled the Wraith there. Basically, ran into a couple of high explosive shells, so it gutted the side of the ship, and that's crippled its main drive trains, basically. So that the Wraith is out of the fight. It's still trying to warp, but now it's just sitting target. Fly versus fly swatter, basically, yeah, because it's not got one weakness in the Wraith is it doesn't have a vertical warp. It only goes horizontal and forward. So if it had the ability to warp up and down, then it would have been much better suited for this. But as I said, it was just a test vehicle. So yeah, as you do. Anyway, as Shortest Viking, the problem with the warp drive is that you start it charging, then it builds up power, right? And how much power it builds up is what dictates how far it goes, as well as how long it is compared to your actual ship. So it's twofold there. But the thing is, the longer it's charging, the bigger the strain. and it'll automatically trigger as soon as your battery runs 0. So if you can you can leave it charging, and the jump will increase in size. But as soon as your battery runs out of power, because it will, no matter what, there's no way to avoid it, it will run out of power, and then the jump will trigger automatically. So if you're manually triggering it, you've got to charge and then release by yourself before your battery drains. Otherwise, yeah. Can I make a vertical warper? Yep. That's dead simple, that. It's just I didn't build the Wraith to do it, so, yeah. Let's call back in my Wraith, so I can actually give you a look at this thing. First things first, though, I'm going to kill off its flipping warp. Time speed 1, please. Thank you. Right, this should give me a chance to turn off its warp drive. Because it loves to jump around the place, as you can see. So, right, let's see. I think it's down the other end of it, is it? Oops. And then suddenly it's over there. Right. Where is the ACB set? Oh, there's one. There's one. No, that's the shield control one. Yeah. Small jumps, they tend to be okay. But I'm looking for the... Ah, there's one of them. There we go. Every 0.8 seconds, cycle the warp drive. Turn that off. That'll stop its forward jumping. And there's another ACB. There it is. 0.7 for the horizontal jumps. Turn that one off as well. And yeah, there we go. That has killed its warp drive. So... yeah. Turn back to full speed. Don't know why my shadow's acting so wrong here, but yeah, there we go. This is the Wraith, such as it is. Apparently when I look upwards it's like glitching out or something, so it's like... Ah, that was one last warp right there. Okay.
Listening.
Also, why the heck does it look like I'm in water? It's from the dimension beyond! This craft has been contaminated by the dimension beyond the warp, I think. They'll probably explain a few things. Anyway, yeah, that's having a few bugs. Anyway. Yeah, it's bugging out quite badly. Right. Anyway, this thing's built around the fact that the jump drives trigger incredibly quickly, so they don't actually tax the battery too much, and that's why the rest of it just keeps going. So yeah, this thing's shading is all messed up. Jeez. Where's the warp drive? Let's trigger a warp. So watch my battery. Watch my battery bar. It's dropping, it's dropping, it's dropping. It's getting faster and faster, and that's because, as I said, the warp drives, they drain faster and faster as you go. So yeah, look how fast it's dropping now. It's just nose diving. And then, boop, I jump because the battery ran out, and it's still bugged. So right, yeah. Sheesh. But anyway, yeah, this thing's as I said, this thing is fitted with what I call a micro warp drive. Essentially, it's actually lots of warp drives strung together and keyed to work in a certain way. So it's got this massive grid built into it. Like it's got three warp drives going to the sides, and it's got it's got 4 warp drives driving it forward. So yeah, it's got lots and lots of warp drives in it. This craft has 7 warp drives in total. Let's put it that way. 7 warp drives. And that is the secret behind this thing being able to hop around. It's 7 warp drives, but it's cycling them really quickly, and it's triggering them in unison as well. So when it goes to the side, the 3 drives on the side trigger all together, and that multiplies the distance it goes. Same with the front. 4 drives, all going at once, multiplies it, so it goes 4 times as far on the same charge up time. So that's how this thing does its tactical micro jumps, because it's just like, it charges for like as you saw when I was disabling it, 0.7 seconds and 0.8 seconds, so they're deliberately meant to go out of sync with each other, so it's more jumps to make it harder to hit. And so it goes like all over the darn place, basically. But it all depends on how you're trying to work the warp drive into the craft itself. So yeah. That's the Wraith. The Wisp? Wasn't this the micro one? Oh, I think I need to reload the designer. Restart designer, yes. Flipping heck. Destroy all vehicles, yes. Load vehicle, load the Wisp. Ah, here we go. This is a Wisp. It was my... Okay, the ocean. It's the ocean that's bugged out. Right. But the Wisp was basically building a smaller version of the Wraith kind of thing. So, as you can see, it's only partially completed. So it's got the warp drives exposed in it right now. So this one's got side motion and forward motion as well. No vertical motion, but as I said, I never actually finished this darn thing. Suicide warp rammer, when it gets close, it warps into the other ship. The problem with that, Harry, is you've got... it's the fact you can't trigger the warp drive reliably to go an X distance. Because you can start it cycling up, and then it'll go so many seconds later. And how fast and how big your target is will affect how far you want it to go into the enemy ship. So, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's the Wisp. Working on a small tactical warping drone. Just let that ditch in the ocean, sure. And was it the Weird? No. Oh, here we go, the Spectre prototype. Again, this is a big ship. Well, this the same kind of principle, but as you can see, I was building this one for micro warp drive advantage as well. So this thing is supposed to micro warp drive around the place too. I never finished it, but I got as far as the forward jump drives and the power plant. So that's as far as this one got, basically. But this thing was supposed to be a bigger capital ship size version of the Wraith class craft you just saw. So yeah, and that was the general principle of this entire lot. It was like name them after ghostly stuff, and it's like because they just pop in and out of existence basically, and it makes them rather nasty to try and track down. But this was supposed to be a full battleship size thing built on the same principle. I mean, I even built in the turret rings, as you can see. The turrets were meant to be on those things there, so it's like, oh, jeez. Can I link a to a video? Can I link to a video where a guy teleports nukes into hulls with warp drives? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Put that in the chat. Anyone who wants to have a look at it, go right ahead. That's absolutely fine. So yeah. But yeah, to give you an idea of this craft, though, it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. Okay, for the forward drive for this particular craft, it has 7. It has 7. No, it doesn't. It has 21 warp drives for forward propulsion. That's what this craft would have had if I'd finished it. That's what it's got built into it right now. 21 forward-facing warp drives. So it's like, 21 of those, and 14 of them are 96 meters long. 7 of them are 98 meters long. So it's like stuff like that. Yeah, you should be able to post a link straight into the stream chat. But yeah, that's what this thing does. Won't do links, just... Hang on. Automatic blocks spam messages. Oh, the spam mode was turned back on. It just keeps resetting itself. Put a space in the link and then try posting it. That should do the trick. But yeah, this thing would have been very, very beastly to try and take on if I'd ever finished it. But I didn't. So, there you go. Battleship-sized tactical warp ship, never finished. All it's got is the part of the warp drive. And that's it. So, another trip down memory lane in the failures and half-lost dreams of Iron Mark III. Goodbye, Spectre. Oh wow, the entire horizon is black, actually. Wow. Oh yeah, that's my prototype scout ship. I remember this one. And once again, I'm carrying the black goop from beyond. So yeah, I think my From the Depths is just flat out bugged at this point. Yeah, this is just a scout craft prototype I put together once for one of my From the Depths series a while back. It's not too bad, really. It's just a massive radar plane, basically, that's also really fast moving. Actually, I think it's about time I was stopping, to be quite honest, because it's getting really late. I've been doing this for over an hour, so it's like this was only ever going to be a short stream, to be honest. Just a bit of messing around and having a bit of fun. So, yep, I think I've achieved what I was after, basically. Oh yeah, look at that. The land has been taken over by the abominations of the darkness as well. Look at that mess. Oh dear. But yeah, I think that's it. I will leap off into the darkness. Banzai! Whoops, way too fast. Goodbye, Scout. I descend into the darkness. Whee! And suddenly, my presence brings light. Let there be light. Ha ha ha. Oh dear. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the stream, I'm afraid, guys. I'm going to stop it there. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed having a look at a few bits and pieces and my explanation of some PID stuff and all that jazz. And I hope you had fun chatting with each other. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all some other time. So, see you all later. It's almost time for sleeps. Sleepy time calls to me.